Welcome to the Fans of Fitness podcast, a voice for fitness, health, and wellness professionals. The National Personal Training Institute of Arizona.
Legit instructors teaching you.
No, enough of those bad reps. The good quality trainers that come out of the school.
Let's get into it.
Grace Schreyer, welcome to the Fans of Fitness podcast.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, I think I saw you about 3 weeks ago for graduation.
It's already been 3 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks.
Jeez, time flies.
Maybe 3.5. Yeah, so Grace is a recent graduate of the National Personal Training Institute of Arizona, which is an all-hands-on vocational school for certified personal trainers. That sums it up, right?
100%. Best school I've ever been to.
Nice. That's what I like to hear.
Yes.
So what have you been up to since you graduated?
Oh, boy. I started a business. Started Vital Strength, LLC.
Yes.
So I'm just stretching and training people. Just trying to build my clientele up right now.
Yeah.
So I have about 3 clients for each.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly a 4th soon. So
yeah. Well, that's where people start. They start kind of low numbers and build up from there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, getting your certification as a personal trainer and all of a sudden you have 50 clients. That's not how it works. It's, as any entrepreneur, you have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Usually. And this is no different. Personal training is no different than being, a chiropractor.
Yeah.
On your own, independent chiropractor, or any other business as well.
For sure.
So you got to start somewhere, but I think what is needed is knowing how to do that, because there's tons of personal trainers out there that are very smart, very bright, and they just don't know how to build a business, and they fail, which is a shame, because we need more people out there helping people get healthy, lose weight, and everything that comes along with health, wellness, and fitness. And it's just a shame that a lot of people don't understand how to make it work, and they think that people are just going to come to them once they say, hey, I'm certified. That's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
Yeah, you've got to get out in front of people. You have to gain trust of people, and you have to know your stuff.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but the business part, very, very important, and that's where a lot of people fail.
Yeah.
So.
It's tricky, but I think I learned a lot from you. Both my parents are entrepreneurs, so I've been learning a lot from them. And just kind of enjoying where I'm at right now, even though it's slow and only a couple clients. It's like, yeah, but I want to start slow, enjoy the moment, and then eventually it'll pick up and I'll be like, damn, I wish I was back. Only a couple clients, kind of tanning when I want,
That's funny. Yeah, you get to that point. Well, some people get to that point. I can say that I did. I'm nothing special. I just held with it. I just kept going. I knew this is something I wanted to do, so I gave it everything I had to make it happen. But when it did happen, and I had at one time I had over 40 clients,
wow.
like, wow, I don't have any time for myself anymore.
Exactly.
I don't really have time to work out. And, when I started at 24-Hour Fitness after I graduated, National Personal Training Institute, the first month was kind of slow, and then it started to build. I started to get better at teaching, because, I'd just gotten done with school. It was months of absorbing, and now I have to be the teacher.
For sure.
So, having all those people in front of me, got good at using the knowledge that I'd learned and learning how to communicate with people. And before you knew it, it was like, hey, my books are full now.
Yeah.
3 months into being at 24, I think I had 30 clients.
Wow.
And then at the most I had at one point at 24 was about 50. So, in between the morning and the evening when it's dead, say 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., I didn't want to be at the gym anymore. I wanted to go home and take a nap. Exactly. And that's exactly what I did. So my workout suffered because, I don't want to be in this. I don't want to be here all day.
For sure.
I'm going to go home, I'm going to take a nap, I'm going to recaffeinate, come back in and do it again. So
yeah.
It's funny in the beginning because you're like, oh, I don't have enough clients. And then you get a ton of clients and you're complaining a little bit maybe that you have so many clients. But these are more people that you're helping.
For sure.
So you got to just look at it. This is the reason why we get into personal training, is to help people.
Yeah. You got to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, there does come a time, hopefully, everybody experiences it where you're like, man, I've got too many clients.
It's a good problem to have.
It's an amazing problem to have.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah,
so,
you get there?
Yeah. I'm excited, so I'm just enjoying it. And it's like a whole nother beast to tackle, is like you learn so much in the classroom because it's such a quick course. Mm-hmm. But then it's like kind of you get baptized by fire. You just have to get thrown out there and just like try new things with people. And it's like you never know what you're going to find. Like everyone learns differently.
Yeah, everybody.
Everyone
Yeah, and there's so much out there to learn too, because
So much.
as coaches and trainers, we're never going to know it all,
No.
and we shouldn't, because we don't want to. Well, I shouldn't say we don't want to. I think we as coaches, we want to help everybody, but pretty soon what you're going to find is a niche that really excites you to work with.
Exactly.
So if you're like, a jack of all trades, you're not going to be good at one particular, demographic or one particular modality or one type of person.
For sure.
So I think finding that niche is super important, because it's exciting when you work with people that you gel with very well. Say, like, if you're somebody who's athletic and, you get in the industry, for you, it might be fulfilling to work with other athletes.
Right.
If you're somebody who wants to work with seniors or doesn't know it, but finds out through having these clients that are older, you might find that you love it, and that may be the path for you. And if it is, then that's the education you want to continue to
For sure.
gather,
Pursue it.
instead of just getting certifications and wood soup by your name and then chasing every piece of paper you can. It's not going to really serve you
No.
for your clientele that you want to work with. So
For sure. And you're never going to know who you want to work with until you just work with everyone.
that's
Like, coming into your class, I thought I wanted to work with this specific demographic.
Mhm.
And now leaving your class, I'm like, that's not at all who I want to work with.
who were you thinking that you wanted to work with?
I was thinking just like middle-aged moms, like stay-at-home moms. And then going through the class, I was like, Like, now I think it's like more weight loss, more just like basically weight loss. And maybe even like athletes down the road. Like, my first couple people I trained was small group, and they were fighter pilots. Not at all in a million years if you're like, that's going to be the first people you train. I'm like, I don't want to train those people.
Yeah.
Give me the older clientele. Give me the weight loss.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Pilots are boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, pilots are boring.
Lame. No one wants.
I
Yeah.
have no stories, which is something you learn when you work with the senior population. Is you learn a lot of things about gardening,
Oh,
quilting, and I thought it was extremely fascinating, because a lot of my clients were elderly, as it turned out. A couple of years into my career, and it's some of the most fun conversations I've ever had. I learned a lot about gardening.
you pick up a new skill.
Learned a lot about history,
Yeah.
and I think you with having clients, you just learn from them a lot.
For sure.
Everybody's got their own hobbies. You learn about, like I just said, quilting. One of my clients, that was her passion, that was her hobby, and she just
Sick.
loved to quilt. So
Yeah.
when my wife and I had our daughter, she had a quilt that she'd already made for us before my daughter was born.
That's
so.
sweet.
And she came in the studio, and she's like, "I made you something." I was
Oh,
like, "Oh, that's amazing!" So she made 3 more, while we were working together in Portland, and one was a Nightmare Before Christmas one.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. My
That's
daughter's still
awesome. Really?
She's too big for it now, but it covers half her body. But
Cute.
I learned a tremendous amount about quilting, and I never thought that would be something I would ever be interested in.
For
But
sure.
seeing her twice a week for an hour, I learned a lot about it.
Learn. Yeah. You learn a lot about people.
Yeah.
Just building those relationships and those friendships. And everyone has their own story to tell. So it's just so fascinating.
Yeah, if you're a people person, this is an amazing industry.
It's the best industry to be in because it doesn't feel like work. You just get to hang out with your clients.
It doesn't feel like work, and I think that's the key, right?
For
the
sure.
life is finding a career that doesn't feel like work. And to me, 15 years I've been in this industry, I'm not going to say it doesn't feel like work, because there's work to be done, but
sure.
it's work you want to do.
Exactly.
And that's the difference between, a 9-to-5 job, what most people think of a 9-to-5 job, and a cubicle. That's boring.
Boring.
That's boring. Slaving away for somebody else instead of slaving away for yourself. I think that's incredibly rewarding, and it has been for me. There's been ups and downs.
For sure.
There's
There's with everything.
There's speed bumps here and there that you don't see.
Yeah.
We've all run over those before. You're like, just cruising along, and then boom, you're like, I didn't see that speed bump. And then
you grow.
It's exactly how you grow.
Yeah.
It's never going to be smooth sailing. So for a lot of independent coaches out there, you just have to take your licks, and hopefully it's not too big of an issue that you run into, and hopefully it's just a bunch of small ones that you can figure out how to not have that speed bump appear again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's I can think of a ton of things that I would have changed, but I'm glad that
for sure. But
it did happen, because I was able to not allow that to happen again.
Yeah, learn from it, improve your business, improve your clients, improve yourself.
Yeah, and that's what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people aren't comfortable with change, uncomfortable with, having difficult paths, which make everything better once you do go down those roads of
Makes your success even better.
It does.
Yeah.
So you're Vital Strength. That's the name of your business?
Vital Strength.
How'd you come up with Vital Strength?
Honestly, I was just playing around with the names one day and like learning from you in class. You're like, don't think too hard on a name. It can always change type deal. And I was like, I was putting all my time into my name. I was like, it's got to be short. It's got to be catchy.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh, what's going to stick? And I don't know. I was playing around and somehow I came across vitality and just like the definition of it. I love it because it's just like necessary. It's essential for life. And I just think that's so important with fitness. Like that's what's going to keep everyone alive and healthy and energized. And it's like that right there. I was like, boom. And I was like, strength, like it could. I was also trying to pick a name that wasn't necessarily geared towards one audience. I didn't want to take anyone out to where an old lady would be scared by a name. And like, that's not me,
Yeah.
And so I was like, strength is cool because I feel like everybody can use strength in different aspects. And it's not just in the gym. It could be mental strength. It could be physical strength. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And so it's just like building that confidence for people inside and outside of the gym, no matter where they're at in life. Like everybody should feel confident where they're at mentally, physically, spiritually, like all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the name. A lot of coaches spend a lot of time trying to figure out a name. It sounds like you're in the same boat as me because when I went through this school, we had to pick out a name. We had to find a logo, and then the final, just like it is here in Arizona, is the business final, and that's graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be really nerve-wracking because now you're in a mindset of where you're going to be the business.
For sure.
And like, crap, now I got to think of a name and a logo. And usually the name creates the logo.
For sure.
You come up with a name, and then you can think what logos or pictures correspond with the name. And that's how it happened for me, but it took me 3 months.
Yeah, it took me probably, and even with my logo, like I finally just solidified it after like maybe a month of playing around with it, like having different people design it and like getting feedback. And so now it's finally just a simple logo that can be thrown on if I make shirts or hats or something, like not complicated. And it's just a V with an S and the end of the S are like barbells. So it's just clean, simple.
Right. The picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So it's important when it comes to like, what your logo is going to be. It has to indicate what it is. It's like when like in class, when I was talking to you guys about, you drive down a road and you see a billboard or you see a logo on a building, if you're athletic or in the you like fitness and you see like a logo, it's a donut, you're not going to go, that's a fitness place. But if you see a logo, it's got a barbell, it's going to get your attention.
It's going to, right.
Like, hey, I didn't know there was a gym there.
Sure.
And just like on a business card. If somebody sees your business card and it's got a donut on it, they're not gonna associate that with fitness at all.
No.
But if you got like what you're talking about, like, oh, this is fitness related.
Right. You're like, oh, I'm curious. Yeah, exactly.
I'm into fitness, or I need to lose weight, and that's going to capture their attention, and they might look into it. So logos are really important. And I showed you mine.
Yes.
And mine changed several times.
Right.
In class yesterday for business, I showed everybody, my logo as it started to where it ended. And it's completely different. It's way better. But you have to take a step. And I think a lot of people are petrified to take that first step.
To take it.
Just throw it out there. It's just like social media. If you're not into social media, or if you're just starting your career in this industry, you have to let people know. Otherwise, people aren't going to come to you for help because they don't know.
Because they don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, you can't expect people to come to you.
No. You're like, now that I have my paper, it's like, who knows you have your paper?
Yeah.
No one.
Nobody.
Got to announce it. Got to go out there, shake hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a barrier for a lot of people. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of people, making negative comments. We talked about that yesterday too in business. And I'm like, this is just something you have to get over if you want to be an independent. Is you're going to have people that are a-holes. They're going to say things. If you're doing a video on how to properly do say a deadlift.
Yeah.
For some people, you can't do it good enough, and they're just oh, that's terrible form. But remember, like I say in class, there's good, better, best.
Exactly.
As long as you're in there somewhere, hopefully not just good, but better or best, then you're good.
Then you're
good
there.
because everybody's got opinions.
Even everyone is going to say something.
Like people that aren't even in the industry, maybe an auto mechanic's like, that's not how you do a bad squat. How do you know? I saw it on bodybuilding.com or I saw it on YouTube, and you're doing it wrong.
Well, especially now with social media and TikTok, and everybody thinks they know how to work out now. Like everyone's just pushing out content. Like get skinny girls, and they're like, "Oh, this is my workout routine." And it's like, fact checked. Where's that?
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard to get good information out there.
Yeah, and who even knows what they're on? Because I'm not going to say they're on anything.
Oh, sure.
This is my workout. I got 6-pack abs.
And I'm on Ozempic in the back.
Yeah. You don't see that in the picture. No. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, influencers, you just got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, some have good information. Some do.
For sure. Some do.
Some do. Some
Yeah.
don't.
But yeah.
It is the industry. Anybody can be a professional.
Yeah. And I was like, when coming up with a name, like there were so many boxes I felt like I had to check. I was like, well, I want it to be at the top of like Google search. So should I start with a number? And like, here I am. Yeah, like Jason said. And I was like, well, now here I am at the bottom of the barrel. But I'm like, dude, it's a restart.
Yeah.
And it's like, everyone's going to have an opinion. And I was like, oh, is this going to be good enough? And it's like, who cares? Like, if I like it, I put the confidence behind it. Like, people are going to gravitate towards it if it calls them,
Totally.
So
how does it feel to be your own independent boss owning a company?
It's awesome.
Was it weird?
It's super weird.
Super weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, it's still small business, but at the same light, it's like I own it. Everything I do comes from me, all the decisions. Like, I can travel when I want,
Yeah.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
It's scary for sure.
It's super scary.
Especially with like taxes and stuff.
QuickBooks.
QuickBooks,
Make sure
exactly.
you get that. Yeah. Don't wait until the end of the year for tax season and go, oh, I owe $17,000.
Oops.
Yeah. There's this thing called quarterlies. You want to make sure as an independent that you're thinking about stuffing what you think you owe away for that time that you have to hand over a big chunk of your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So scary, but super exciting, super freeing. And just like knowing it's for me, it's like, yeah, because I can put as much effort behind it as I want to.
Right.
And just the constant learning or like writing workouts on the weekends, like for the week. And it's like, I don't ever really want to work on the weekends, but it's like something fun, like that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, cool, then I knock it out for the week. So then I hit my clients for the week. And then the rest of that day, I'm like, dude, I can do whatever I want.
It's nice.
It's nice.
Nice until you have a lot of clients.
For sure.
Which
But
is
then,
a good problem.
It's a good problem. Then the income is flowing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're helping lots of people, which is
key.
It's a double whammy. You're helping people get better, healthier, and you're making a healthy living. So I think that's, none of us work for free.
No.
I think as a coach, your main priority should be helping people. Money will follow.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And that's like one of my clients that I stretch. He's been with me since I've been in school. Like he was just like my stretch dummy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has fibromyalgia. He has a fused back and neck. He's had 3 knee replacements. And I was like, oh.
Is this guy a pilot too?
No. He's entrepreneur. But an older gentleman, and he is like the sweetest guy. And he's like, I'll be your test dummy. Like, he's like, I need it with my fibromyalgia. I need to like loosen up, get back into working out. And so I've been working on him, and just like, I don't know, it's probably been 6 to 8 weeks that I've been working on him. And last 2 weeks ago, I noticed like there's been improvements in like his stretching, his mobility, and even his body. Like he'll tell me the next couple days after I stretch him, like he feels great. And just even that, I'm like, oh, that makes me feel so good, like helping him, because knowing he's in pain all the time, and then he gets some relief for even a couple days, or whatever it is. It's like, it's huge.
Yeah. So you're doing PNF stretching then?
I am.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, PNF stretching stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. It's a really great way to stretch our clients to help restore mobility and flexibility. And I think it's one of the best tools to have outside of knowing how to get somebody to lose weight and have them go through movements to do so and whatnot. But, doing what we're doing right now isn't good for us. Sitting down, it creates, for a lot of people that have desk jobs, they need to be stretched, and they also need strength training.
Yeah.
And I think stretching is just one of the best tools you can have in your belt as a coach. And I think people overlook that because there's lots of components to health and fitness. It's not just having them lift weights. It's also restoring mobility, working on, weak muscles, working on posture, all that stuff. So it's not just lifting weights. There's lots of layers to health and fitness and fitness. So having all those tools at your disposal, you can help just about anybody.
Yeah, and they just get like instant relief. Like everyone I've stretched, as soon as they're done, they're like, I already feel so much better. And I'm like, yeah.
They don't know what it feels like to be that mobile.
Yeah, they're tight and wound up all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're always in the flexion. Sitting down, they're always in the flexion. They're not doing the opposite, extension of their body. So, yeah, it's a great tool.
Yeah, it's been super fun.
That's what we talk about in class. It's like, what tools do you want to put in your tool belt to make you the best coach you can be? So there's a like there's a certification coming up. It's April 20th and 21st. It's a creation, Dr. John Russin. It's the pain-free performance certification.
Yeah.
I want to do it desperately. I'm not going to be able to do it this time. I'm going to have to wait. But that's one of the ones that I know that is worthwhile to go. So, if being a coach, you never want to stop learning. You want to find those workshops that are going to help you move forward with your education so you can help more people. And in turn, make a good living. So I think that's a great one. There's lots of good ones. We were talking about it yesterday. There's lots of free workshops around the Valley.
Yeah.
There's some that aren't free, that don't cost much. Just pursue those that you're interested in instead of just trying to, like I said before, just chase, certifications.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't know what you want to do. Just going back to what we said a little bit earlier, that's a good way to find out what you're interested in.
For sure. Yeah, that one that you just mentioned, that one caught my eye when you sent the email out.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to register. So I don't know.
Probably not too late.
You don't think so?
It's the only way to find out. Register.
Register and see.
They say you've got a seat, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
I think there's 4 or 5 graduates that are going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Because I've been wanting to dive deeper in mobility and just like the basics before you start lifting.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a lot of corrective exercise.
Corrective exercise, yeah.
And that's really important to know. And that's just another layer of education. Some people, when they come into class first day, they don't know what they want to do. And bringing in somebody like Sky, does neurokinetic therapy, when everybody gets to see what that tool is, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain until she gets there. And then when she leaves, you're like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And that's how I felt too.
But even after she does it, it's still hard to explain. Like I was trying to explain her to my client with fibromyalgia because I was like, she would be perfect for you with all the scar tissue, like everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to explain it. And he's like, kind of following along. He's like, are you sure? Like that's how it works? And I'm like, no, trust me.
Yeah.
It's wicked.
It's really difficult to explain this to my friends and family too. Just people that I meet, I've at least 24 times in the last 4 years have talked to somebody who's got, pain or some sort of dysfunction that their doctors can't figure out. And I'm like, hey, have you ever considered neurokinetic therapy? And they always go, what?
Yeah.
And then I have to explain what it is. And I've sent quite a few people to Sky, actually. And my wife being one of them. It absolutely 100% works.
For sure.
99% of the people that raise their hands when she says, who wants to come up on the table that have some sort of issue, she fixes right there in a span of 5-10 minutes. It's just crazy.
It's one of those things, like, trust me, go do a session with her and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's magic. I went and saw her a month and a half ago. I went to her house, and it was after my hernia surgery that I had that I started to have some imbalances on my left side, like my left glute max was off. I could feel it wasn't working. And my adductors were screaming. I think they were compensating. So I told her, and she's like, get over to my house, dummy, and I'll fix you. I'm like, fine. So on her table for maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30. And I got up off the table and zero pain. I'm like, all right.
Everything's firing correctly.
My glute's back on. I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I took it. I did the level 1 NKT certification. And it was a Saturday and Sunday, 8 hours each day. At the end of that first day, my mind hurt so bad. My brain hurt.
You have to know a lot of anatomy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to be good at neurokinetic therapy, you have to know anatomy. You don't have to know all 640 muscles in your body. You just need to know your primary movers. The majority of the primary movers, you need to know that. Because in order to be efficient or to be good at NKT, you need to muscle test.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what that muscle does, then how do you test it?
You can't.
Yeah, just like being a personal trainer. How can you be a personal trainer if you don't know what these muscles do?
Sure.
Because some muscles have other muscles that are a part of that muscle group, like biceps.
Yeah.
People think of biceps, it's just one muscle. No, it's not.
No.
It's biceps brachii, 2, brachioradialis, brachialis. There's 4.
4.
So we've got those 4 flexors.
Just train one of them and get a massive bicep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's silly, these online certs, they've got illustrations of muscles, but they don't really talk about insertions or origins or actions or how to stretch them or any of that stuff. So,
or which exercise targets which one.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the industry we're in.
For sure.
Yeah,
especially with the online certs.
You got to start somewhere, I guess. But if you do start there, you want to make sure that you're continuing your education and finding maybe your mentor who's been been a coach for a long time and following them around to pick up
Sure.
some tips and tricks
Yeah.
and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, more, yeah. I don't know. I tried doing NASM, and I just sat down one day and started reading the textbook online. And I was like, nope, I need something hands-on.
Oh, you did that before you decided
Yeah.
to enroll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did it like a year or two ago, and then I was like, nope. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. And then,
Yeah.
then I found this school, and I was like, that's exactly what I need. I need the
Mhm.
hands-on. I need to sit in a classroom and have it broken down for
Yeah.
me.
I wouldn't be sitting here if that's all there was. And I didn't
Yeah.
know, in Portland, I didn't know the school existed. I told you guys the story of how I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
Just working out. That's all I was doing. I was working for Coca-Cola, just working out, doing overhead shoulder presses, dumbbells. And some trainer came up behind me at LA Fitness and spotted me. I didn't ask for it. He just did it. I guess I looked like I was struggling. I might have been. But that fraction of a second where I was putting the weights down, I had to decide if I was going to, be a butthole about it or be nice. And I chose to be nice. I put it down. I was like, thank you.
Sweet.
And then I'm like, hey, man, how do you like being a personal trainer? And he said, I love it. Yeah, I just got out of a school. Then he walked up to the front, came back with a sticky note with a name and a number on it, who was the director of MPTI Portland. And rest is history. I called the number, set up a tour, and I'm like, all right, this is for me. If I'm going to do this, this is the only way I'm going to do it.
For sure.
Because if I want to do anything, if I want to make anything a part of a career or just like a side hustle or whatever you want to call it, I'm not just going to take the easy way. I want to make sure I understand as best I can how to be good at the craft that I want to do.
Exactly.
So, yeah, rest is history. I went to the school, 24-hour fitness, independent trainer for 10 plus years, and now directing the school here.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's so weird. Had I not gone to the gym that day,
Oh, for sure.
then who knows?
Still be at Coca-Cola.
Would not be here.
Bad back.
Bad back, bad everything. Bad attitude.
Bad attitude.
Hating life. Like, that's
Yeah.
work for myself. But not everybody wants to work for themselves. We had this conversation yesterday too. Some people don't have that entrepreneurial mindset.
No.
They just want to clock in, clock out, forget about work, and not really build anything.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Totally.
It's totally fine. Some people, they get a certification, they go through our school, and they're like, I just want to work at a box gym. I don't want to look for clients. I want them, I want the box gym to find clients, put them on my schedule. I don't want to sell. I just want to be a coach, and that's it. And that's totally fine.
But you still have to sell at box gyms?
Not really.
Oh.
I mean,
To an extent.
some of them, it's not mandatory. It's good for you to do that.
Right.
But I think the problem with your main commercial box gyms is you don't get the reps and the practice in of selling yourself,
Sure.
because you are the product as a coach. You're the product, and if you're not getting those reps in, and you just decide to go independent, then
It's going to be brutal.
it's going to be hard because you're going to be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
So being in the box gym, I wish more commercial box gyms were like 24-hour fitness, because that's where I started. That's where a lot of people started. For some reason, a lot of good coaches have come from 24.
I was going to say, because was it Jason or?
Jason,
Yeah.
Greg Trent too.
Okay.
There's a couple others. Oh, Joey from OPT Fitness.
Yeah, Joey, yes.
Like all these successful people come from 24, and I get it too, because we had to do our own business plans. We had to do forecasting. We had to, at the end of every month, we were given a sheet, and we had to forecast how much we were going to sell in supplements,
Right.
how many sessions we were going to sell, how many packages we were going to sell. At the very bottom of that page is the total amount that you think you can bring in for the month. So you had to think in a business sense. You were a business. We were just micro businesses within a business.
Okay.
So we would have to do that every month, and it was good practice.
Yeah.
To go, okay, I can actually envision, here's my gaps in my schedule. If I fill these in, then it brings me this. What am I going to do that? And with 24, you had to prospect.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you had to walk the floor. You couldn't just sit in your cubicle just staring at people walking.
Waiting for clients to be handed to you.
And they did do that. At the front of house, when somebody would sign up for a membership, they would say, hey, are you interested in personal training? A 24-hour fitness, 24. Everybody got a free what's called fitness orientation. I don't know if they call it that anymore, but fitness orientation, that's the terminology I use for somebody who's prospective, looking to get help,
Yeah.
sitting across for you to see if you're a good fit.
Yeah.
So we'd have to walk the floor. Now, some people are afraid of sales.
For sure.
I am.
Yeah.
I still am, but I'm confident. And and I think that helps a lot with gaining trust. You've got the used car salesman approach.
Yeah.
Like my fitness manager, he told me before I give up that not to give up until you hear 7 no's. I'm like, 7 is too many no's.
A lot of no's.
That's too many no's. If I was sitting across from somebody like, I need help, I'm overweight, I'm sitting here because I'm interested.
Right.
And maybe when it comes to that sales portion of the conversation, they're like, all right, well, we've got these specials going on. We've got, I recommend this many times a week to work with me, and et cetera, et cetera. And then they say a price, and I'm like, wow, that's way out of my wheelhouse. And I say, no, like, I can't do this. And then the person says, well, what if we do this? And I go, no. That's 5 more no's that I got to get on that person.
Oh my gosh.
I would be annoyed.
I would be annoyed.
So,
like, do you not hear my no the first 4 times?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, to me, the way that I did sales, I approached sales was, those fitness orientations, I tried to connect with them. I tried to, address their pain points. What are we trying to do here? At the end of the session, this is how we can do it. Mm-hmm. And of course, at the end, you got to mention, hey, this is how much of a commitment this is, financial commitment. And if they were to say, I can't do that, or I need to talk to my spouse, or I need to whatever, I'm like, cool. Well, when you feel like you're ready, let me know and we'll get going. And that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't ask any more questions like, well, you should do this. You need it. I'm not, even though I'm thinking, like, many times I've had, prospective clients sitting across from me, they were morbidly obese. And I'm like, you really need help. You really need help. I hope that I can do that for you.
Right.
And, at the end, they say, I can't do it. Then I'm like, all right, dang, I want to help you. But I always say, if they say no, hey, like I said, if you ever have any questions, or if you want to work with me, let me know. And that way we leave on good terms, and it's not like he was pushy.
For sure.
I just want them to feel comfortable coming back to me at any time they want if they have any questions. I'm an open book.
For sure.
And I'm not going to give them a free 1 hour workout because I can't as an employee 24.
Right.
I already just gave you one.
Right.
So next time you're going to have to pay. But if you see me just walking around, if you've got questions, please feel free to come up and talk to me. So I think by doing that, you gain trust and you become that coach that's approachable, as opposed to those that, they're just hawks. Just
pushy. Yeah. No one likes those type of people.
No, it's like buying a car.
Right.
I don't know how it is. What? Yeah, I do. I just went to a car dealer like 2 months ago just to look at something. And it's like, I think I mentioned this in class, because there's different types of sales tactics, right? As a consumer looking for a vehicle that's not in the mood to talk to anybody, but I want to see a sticker price and I kind of want to look at the interior without test driving. Oh, yeah. You pull into a car dealer, and if they've got the gates open where you can drive in the middle of the cars, that's what I'm doing. So I'll drive and I'll see a car that I'm interested in. I'll jump out real quick.
Like looking around.
Car's still running. Yeah. Car's still running. I'm like, oh, this thing looks cool. And then I see a head pop up behind a car. Hey, can I help?
Immediately in your car.
Like, no, I'm good. I just want to look. So that's kind of, there's different personalities when it comes to selling. Mine was just always cool. Well, if you need any help, let me know.
Right.
And
I'm here to help.
And that's what worked for me. I also saw sales tactics that I would never incorporate, the pushy ones.
Yeah.
And they did okay. They did fine. I think I mentioned this in class. One of our fitness managers at 24, he would have he became a fitness manager, but before he did that, he was a coach. Mm-hmm. He did exceptionally well. He did very, very good, but he did it in a way that I would never do it. And that would be, he would have a fitness orientation, and he would make those prospective clients throw up.
Yeah, that guy. That's crazy.
Nate.
I would not work with a guy who made me throw up on my fitness orientation.
So it was his deal. Nobody else did this. But when we saw Nate with a prospective client, we're like, he's going to make him sick or her sick. So what his trick was, putting a 45-pound plate on a sled and having them push it all the way down past the cardio to the window and back. And it was, I would say, the distance was at least 50 yards or more. Gosh. And it was on that rubberized surface.
Yeah, so didn't slide like the turf. It didn't
slide like it would on turf. A lot of people would get to the end and not make it back. Some people would make it halfway back. Some people would make it all the way back. But almost every time, they would go to the bathroom.
Oh my God.
Because if you've never pushed a sled before, you build up so much lactate in your body,
Yeah.
muscles, and it's strenuous if you've never done it before.
Especially when you have people coming to you on like a first orientation, like
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're going to be out of shape.
But his thing was, see how out of shape you are? I can help you with that. That was his closing line.
My God.
Like, see, you're in worse shape than you thought.
Jeez.
You just pushed a simple sled down the window and you had to go throw up.
Gaslighting.
So, yeah. So that was his tactic. And I thought it was, like, dude, that's not cool. But
But if it works for him,
worked for him.
he's
and
comfortable doing that.
That's why he became
to you.
That's why I became a fitness manager, because his numbers were good. But that was his tactic, and that wasn't mine. So I just used what was comfortable to me, and that's what I would suggest all coaches do. Just be yourself. Don't be pushy. People see that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just do what feels comfortable to you, and it'll come out with more confidence.
Natural. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like people are naturally drawn to more like, you don't push them and you're like, dude, just come back if you have questions. It's like they're obese. Like that takes a lot for them to even come sit down with you.
Mhm.
And then to even have to make decisions. Like they go home, they're like, dude, he was cool. Like they rethink about your interaction. And then maybe the next couple days they're like, I'm going to reach back out to Travis. Like he was cool, not pushy. Like he got it.
Yeah. Open door policy. When you come see me,
exactly.
if I'm out with a client, ask me all the questions you want.
For sure.
Yeah, it absolutely 100% works. So if you're the mindset that you're not a pushy salesperson, which I wouldn't suggest anyway, just be open for those that can't work with you at that time, and oftentimes they come back and they end up working with you
For sure.
because they feel like they can approach you.
100%.
They're not going to be sold. They're not going to be told, if you don't do this, you can't afford not to do this. You're going to die. And
Guilt trip them.
which happens.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I feel like those clients aren't long time clients. Like if you guilt trip them, they'll come work out with you for a couple months, and then they'll be like, all right, no.
Well, there's that buyer's regret too.
For sure.
We had story time. We had a guy.
Buckle up.
His name was Brett. I mentioned this guy to you at 24 Hour Fitness. Remember that I told you the first time I met him? He was a new fitness manager, and he shook my hand.
Yes.
I was sitting at the kiosk. He shook my hand so hard he slammed my hand into the into the table. And I'm like, this is a great first impression, guy. He sounded like Randy Macho Man Savage. The guy was on every PED under the sun.
Jeez.
He had a voice as deep as the lead singer of Cannibal Corpse. If anybody knows what Cannibal Corpse is. Yeah. He not a good FM, not a good coach. No. Very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a car, so at the end of
Didn't have a car.
At the end of every day, when my buddy and I, Clinton, we both went to school together.
Mm-hmm.
We were usually there until about 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, usually, sometimes Fridays. But we knew that when we were done, we had to somehow get out the front door without being seen. Otherwise, he's going to ask you for a ride home.
No way.
Yeah.
He would do that like every day?
Yeah. So I'm like, I look at Clinton. I'm like, hey, man, I just went to the bathroom. We better leave.
Better run.
Like, you got 10 minutes left with your client. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
You're driving, it looks like. But,
Jeez.
yeah, it's all kinds of stories in the industry. We were talking yesterday in class about, as a coach, you're going to hear things from your clients that, you're like, sometimes you wish you hadn't heard, or
Right.
you're going to be asked questions that you don't really know how to answer that aren't really pertain to fitness.
Right.
Oftentimes. So you have to sometimes become like a little miniature Dr. Phil.
Tell them what they want to hear.
You can do that. If you feel confident in what you're saying, then maybe say something. I don't know. I try not to play that part too much, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
That's like that story you told us about one of your clients a while ago, something about politics. And you're like, oh, I gave her the answer I thought she wanted to hear, and it was the wrong answer.
it was the wrong answer.
Yeah.
We talked about that yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about social media and, being a future coach here shortly, if you want to use social media to get awareness out there of you, especially in the online realm, if you're going to be an online coach, you have to use social media. There's no way around it. But working in like a independent gym in an area, then you don't have to use social media. It's nice, but you can also do just grassroots, just network and talk to people, and then, become known.
Yeah.
Where was I going with social media? Oh yeah, politics. Yeah. So I tell them, hey, if you're going to use your social media, You've already got a following. If you're on Instagram, you've already got a following. These are
Right.
people that already trust you. They know you.
Yeah.
You know, now you have to decide if you want to start all over as a business account and then just build that up, or if you want to use your personal and at some point maybe turn it into a business account. It's up to you. I mean, there's pros and cons to it, but you need to look back in your history because it's the simplest little thing that's going to turn somebody off. Because, you know, we become so divisive as a country where things 10 years ago that wouldn't bug us now paint you in a corner.
Right. For sure.
And I'm like, you know, if you're going to, our job is we want to help everybody.
Right.
If you're a coach and you just want to help one side, not the other, if you're political, then you're in for the wrong reason. We're here to help people, you know.
No matter what.
No matter what. I don't care what your leaning is. I don't care what your religious background is. I don't care about any of that.
As long as you're respectful and
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter
to me. I just want to help you live a better life.
Exactly.
So even something as benign as, I don't know, somebody shooting a BB gun.
Yeah.
Or a real gun.
Right.
On social media, and now you're painted in a corner just because of that.
Because of that.
And that's where we're at now.
Yeah.
So
well, it's like you talked about in class, perception.
Yeah, perception's reality.
It's reality.
Yeah, for some people, that's all it takes, and you're painted in a corner. You're somebody gross that you don't want to work with.
Right.
That's all it takes.
Exactly.
So you know, you got to figure out what you want to do. Like I told them, let's start thinking about it now. If not, act on it now. So in 11 weeks, when you graduate, you're going to be ahead of the game. You're going to have an audience. You're going to have people that know this is what you're doing. You're going to school. You're actually learning how to do this stuff, and they're going to be waiting for you.
Sure.
Once you graduate. So, you know, I showed them my Instagram from when I was coaching full time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pictures of my daughter. It's pictures of Spartan races that I do with my clients. It was you know, all the things that I did as a coach. Sure. Just related to coaching and my family and creating that window into my life so people can see I'm actually a human being. Right. You know, that was like for Thanksgiving. My favorite dessert is pecan pie.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. And it was, my wife got a pecan pie from New Seasons in Portland. She brought it home. And I'm like, that's going to die tonight. About this big.
Oh my gosh.
So I had it on my lap. I took a picture of it. I'm like, this thing's dead. I'm a coach. Am I supposed to be doing that? I'm just being real, though.
Right. You're human.
Being human. This is going to die tonight. I'm going to regret it, but I don't care.
I don't care.
So just be yourself. Be authentic.
And you cashed it, didn't you? You ate the whole thing?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did regret it.
But it tasted good.
Did. Yeah. I lived.
You lived?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Social media.
That's the hardest part for me. But I just need to get out of my comfort zone and do it.
Yeah.
Start filming. Start doing stuff.
And it can be something simple. You know, just a picture doesn't have to be a video of you doing some movements. It could be a picture of a weight and just say what you did with that weight for that day.
Yeah.
It could be simple things. It's just taking little steps and getting more comfortable in front of being in front of, or having your face and yourself out there in social media. It's really uncomfortable for some people.
Right.
But like anything, it just takes reps. You get more and more comfortable when you do it. So I was petrified when I started getting on social media and you know, doing posts of fitness stuff that I was doing as an independent, or even when I was at 24-hour fitness, you know, I'd post some things and I'm like, oh, what are people going to think?
Right.
The thing is who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, you're putting out good information. Whether they think it is or not, it's good information.
It's good information.
If you're confident with it, and you should be.
For sure.
I wouldn't go out there and say, hey, here's how to do a deadlift with a big, super rounded back, you know, heavy weight. That's going to get some negative attention, as it should.
Right.
So if you do anything in front of the camera, or
here's how not to do a deadlift.
That would be a great
big
video.
Rounded back.
Yeah, as long as you're not, you know, in the hospital for the next 2 weeks, that could be useful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Content is difficult for a lot of people.
Difficult.
Because it's just, I mean, the age range at the school's been between 18 and 72.
72?
And the older students, you know.
Yeah, they're not social media.
They might have Facebook, but that's just to keep up with their family.
For sure.
And some people just don't want to use it at all, and that's fine. There's lots of ways to succeed as a coach in this industry.
For sure. Shaking hands is huge.
Mm-hmm. So you want to do online training, right?
Eventually, yeah. I want to just start in the gym, get comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And build clientele that way, and then eventually be able to move to online training to where I'm in the gym maybe a couple days a week, maybe just a couple hours, but majority just online, and I can do it from wherever.
Yeah. There's people that do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people that do that.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think I want to get like reps in the gym first
It's a great idea.
and just build my knowledge more, just continue learning. Because like we talked about in the beginning, like I want to enjoy my downtime right now and learn as much as I can until like books start filling up. Because then I'm not going to have as much time to learn
Right.
or work out for myself or.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to take that time now. And then once I know enough and can figure out the different apps for online, then that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's fun. Online training's fun.
Yeah. When my workout book gets bigger, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Then it's easy.
Yep. No, it's a good idea. I think all coaches, especially as independents, you should, if you want to help people, you can, your reach is greater with online coaching.
For sure.
It's not the same as one-on-one, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
It's just, you're just missing that one-on-one component, that feel. But if you're a good online coach, it's going to feel like you're there.
For sure.
So, there's a lot. It's not easy. I think some people think that online coaching is easy, and it can be, and it does usually turn out to be, but there's still processes you need to do with online coaching.
Right.
If you're doing one-on-one catered, coaching with somebody, and it's catered just to them, and it's not some template that you made for people that just want to lose weight, which you can do as well.
Right.
You still have to put in the effort. You still have to check in with them. You still have to be there for them.
The check-ins, yeah.
So check-ins are crucial, because if you're not checking in with them, usually what that client's going to think is you don't care.
And then they're going to fall off because they're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
They need the accountability.
And support.
Support.
So if they don't feel like they're being supported,
yeah,
then they're like, this program isn't working. When it is, they just don't have the support, so they feel like they're on island on their own by themselves. So that's one of the components of online training. You just have to be there for them.
Yeah.
And not just be a ghost and say, hey, if you have any questions, contact me. I'll, at the end of the month, I'll do another month of coaching for you. And it's just crickets.
Right.
Because they need that support. So.
And they need those texts throughout the week or, yeah.
Yeah, it's crucial.
Yeah.
It's super important to keeping somebody on track. And most importantly, they just need to know that you care. And by doing that, they're like, cool, I have a coach instead of somebody who creates a program.
Who writes workouts and leaves me on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now COVID made sure that online training was
huge.
Well, it definitely blew it up.
For sure.
Online training's been around for quite a while, but not until COVID where people realized this is a viable option.
Yeah. And there's so many different ways, like for online, like the more time I spend in the gym, like especially the smaller, like private gyms, it's like there's a couple guys that work out with their trainer on like FaceTime.
Yeah.
They put their big iPad on like a step up and then they just put it there and the guy tells them what to grab and they come over with their little pile of like a kettlebell or like, whatever. And they're just doing their things. Their headphones are in.
Yeah.
Just talking to the guy. And the guy's like on the other side, just in a room. And he's like, do this, do that. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen it. There's a couple coaches at TG Mesa that do that.
That do that. Yeah.
They're like on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Telling their client what to do.
Yeah.
And actually performing some of the movements so they can see how it's done.
How it's done.
That's another way to do it.
Yeah. There's another guy I've seen who doesn't do like Zoom. He's just in his AirPods. He's just like on a call with a guy and he's like, all right, what do I do next? Like you just hear him talking to himself, but he's on the phone doing like a circuit.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Online training, you can reach anybody.
Anybody.
Across the globe.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about it. Yeah.
So eventually you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually. Have you played around with the app at all?
No.
No.
I did in school,
and
then I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, don't.
I know. So I should just use one of my friends and just set him up as like a test dummy.
Sure.
Play around with the workouts and creating workouts and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Or yourself.
Or myself.
Yeah.
I could, yeah.
And you could be your own test dummy.
My own test dummy.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll play around with it this weekend. Just get familiar with it. Because one of my potential clients might be an online. She wants me to come to her gym, but it's not
close.
Not close, and it's like a box gym.
Oh,
so it's like, don't want to get caught in there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
they'll just show you the door.
Yeah, true.
That's about it.
But I gave her the option of online. I was like, set you up with an app. I was like, oh, I should probably get familiar with it first.
Yeah, probably. It's not that difficult. We use Trainerize
Yeah.
That's what I've been using for about 10 years. I think about 10 years is when they came out. And I think it's the best online app out there. I know there's lots of other good ones out there, but for me, the usability for both the coach and the client, I think is really, really good. The exercise library is massive.
Huge. You showed us in class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets bigger. They add videos to it all the time. So it's not that you have to make videos anymore. Almost everything you need is now on there. There's some stuff that you might want to do yourself, put it on a YouTube channel and then integrate or draw that video into Trainerize to use the video. And a lot of people do that as well. And I think it's a good idea. It's time consuming.
For sure. But it's more personal.
But it is more personal because it's you doing it and they get to see their coach teaching them how to do the movements instead of...
Versus a random person everyone sees.
Yeah. So that's smart. I mean, if I had to do it all over again, I might do that.
Make your own videos?
Make my own videos. Because, you know, if you think about the general clientele that you're going to be working with, you're not more than likely with just regular weight loss. Let's just call it just regular weight loss people.
Yeah, right.
You're not going to be needing to show them how to do a barbell deadlift.
No, because they won't be there yet.
No, because they're not going to start there, right? So just your main movements.
Right.
It's a lot of your fundamental movement patterns with those movements that address those. And it could be body weight.
And a lot of those you could film in your house.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know Carly at TG, she did that. She, during the pandemic, she was doing videos of her doing basic movements. And then she just used that for her clients, her doing the movements instead of somebody else.
Right. And then you build your own portfolio of your movements. So it's more personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just some dude emailing you and saying, here's your workout. So talk to you in a month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's next?
Network.
How you doing that?
I'm joining my brother's BNI group Friday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a personal trainer or PNF stretcher.
Perfect.
So got two right there.
Yeah.
Go join them. Just get out. I'm creating business cards right now that my logo is finalized. So just carry business cards with me. And I'm such a people person. I meet people all the time, just like in the grocery store, I just start chatting up someone and it's nice to have business cards on me. I went up north wine tasting a couple weekends ago. Was talking to one of the guys up there and he's like, oh, I'm a personal trainer too. And I was like, no way. He's in Sedona, a personal trainer. And he's like, got a business card on you? And I was like, I don't have business cards yet. I was missed opportunity, but
Yeah, it's the business cards are still relevant.
Super.
It seems like it would be something that would have gone away, like personalized letters.
Right. Right.
But no, it's still relevant. I would suggest every coach have some business cards because you never know.
Right.
I picked up clients at Chase Bank when I was incorporating my business. The gal who was incorporating my business, she became my client, and so did her husband.
Yeah.
I had a business card.
Right.
Yeah. Contact me. There's a coffee shop on the way to my studio. I get coffee there every single morning. I handed out cards. A lot of them became my clients.
Exactly.
You just never know.
And especially a good coffee shop like that, it's a familiar face coming in. They get to know you. You kind of build that relationship with them, and then they're like, cool. And then if anyone comes in, it's like, oh, I need a trainer. I look in, they're like, Travis.
Yeah. It'd be funny. I'd go up there and order my usual. It was a place called Coffee Rush. We have them here, but it's not the same. It's called Coffee Rush up in Portland.
Okay.
They're the small little shacks.
Okay.
You just pull up to. I'd pull up after a while of them getting to know me. They'd ask me questions on nutrition. What should I do next? I'm like, I do this. There's cars behind me.
Right.
You're
holding
you have any more questions? Here's my card. You know where I'm at. Come find me. We'll talk.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you just never know. Grocery stores. I've picked up clients at grocery stores.
Totally.
And the way I did that was I was wearing my shirt.
Exactly.
If your brand is important. So I had a shirt that said Pinnacle Fitness on it. PDX for those that own Pinnacle Fitness wasn't the same name.
But come for them.
Yeah. I'd wear my shirt and it had Coach on it. And people would see Coach first, usually like, Coach, what? And then I'd look at my logo.
Yeah.
And I would, personal training. And I've had people just stop me. Hey, are you a personal trainer? Yeah. And then the conversation starts and, now they become a client.
Exactly.
So don't be afraid to wear your own business.
For sure.
Logos and stuff. I think it's a good idea. Even with wraps on cars.
Mm-hmm.
If you're driving a lot, that's advertising for X amount of miles at every stoplight. People see that. So
throw a QR code on there.
make it easy. Somebody
Yeah.
takes a picture, and now they got your information, and
Yeah.
now they might contact you. So there's lots of ways and lots of things you should do as a business owner that I think a lot of people just don't think about or are
Right.
afraid to do.
Right.
But to be successful, there's a lot of uncomfortable things you're going to have to do
For sure.
that become not uncomfortable once you start doing them. It just becomes part of,
Becomes normal.
Yeah.
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 My dad's always told me everyone can be your client, especially in fitness industry. It's
Yeah.
like everyone needs some help in some way.
totally.
So you just got to get out there.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
Excited for you. It's,
Mm.
it's always, bittersweet to see everybody graduate.
For sure.
And I'm like, oh, come on, guys, you can do this. You got the information, succeed. And, there's a lot to do.
There's a ton to do. It's like, where do you start?
Yeah. There's a lot that succeed. We've got dozens of graduates that are crushing it as independents now.
Yeah.
And it's just because they just got that drive. If you don't have that entrepreneurial drive, then you don't have it.
Right.
But once you see or feel that, as a business that you're moving forward and you feel that, like that step was a good step, it becomes infectious. You want more of those
You
good
want
steps.
more. Yeah.
And sometimes you take a step or two back, no big deal. Now you've got that feeling of success, like, hey, I'm doing something for myself. I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
And you see things working. It's not everything's going to work right away.
Of course
It
not.
never does.
No.
But just continuing to move forward is the key. Finding a mentor,
Yeah.
finding the education you need, reaching out to somebody that's done it before that can help
Sure.
you. Most coaches are totally open to helping you with any questions you have about being an independent. How'd you start?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different path. Mine's different than a lot of
Sure.
people's. My path was bumpy, but it was a good path, and it led me to where I'm at now. And
Exactly.
and I had mentors the whole time through. I still have mentors
Yeah.
that I
Every
talk
coach
to.
needs a coach.
I think yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think hearing things that, maybe you hadn't considered before is good. Because,
Mhm.
again, everybody's have a different path. People did different things to get to where they're at.
Yeah.
And when you hear all these different things, then maybe you can just use a couple of the things that you heard from
Yes.
somebody else and go, I'm going to incorporate that in my business, see what happens. People that do social media marketing, what am I doing wrong that's not gaining me an audience? Find out. I mean, there's lots of places on YouTube to find out how to do that,
Yeah.
fortunately. But just figuring out what works for you. And once you feel success, when you have these little achievements, it's now maybe that brings out that entrepreneurial spirit.
For sure.
It did for me.
Yeah.
This was a roll of the dice for me to get in this industry. I had no idea where this is going to take me. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of my job. I'm going to try something different.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
But I just kept with it, and a lot of people give up early. I think the lifespan of and I don't mean to talk bad about online certifications. Again, you got to start somewhere.
For sure.
But the vast majority of people that just decide, I want to be a personal trainer, they don't last more than 3 months. They have terrible imposter syndrome in many cases, unless they've got like a background prior to becoming
Yeah.
a certified personal trainer.
Right.
They're not going to see their clients, gain lots
Sure.
of, weight loss. They're not going to see them gain strength a lot. A lot of times, they just don't know what to do with this individual person
Yeah.
because they're not doing like dynamic, static posture assessments. They're not doing muscle endurance tests to see exactly where they're at. They're not seeing how they move.
Exactly.
They're not.
Throwing them in.
They're just like, oh, you need to lose weight, burpees,
Run.
or run,
Yeah.
which isn't the best thing for fat loss.
Oh.
But it's just important to get the best education you can. And even if you start as an online coach, just find mentors. You can totally be an online coach or get an online certification and be successful. You just have to have people around you to help propel you. Otherwise, you're not going to know what to do. It's like paralysis by analysis, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. So you do nothing. You just need sometimes somebody to help you take that step.
Give you that little push.
And then those steps become
Yeah.
a jog, and that jog becomes a run. You're like, wow, I did it.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Yeah.
Coaches are out there to help because if they've succeeded, they want others to succeed too.
Exactly.
You would think that we're all competition, and maybe some coaches look at other coaches as competition. There's 4.5 million people in this valley.
It's a lot.
There's really no competition.
No.
There's not a whole lot of, coaches, to be honest.
And everyone does things differently.
Mhm.
It's like your clients are going to follow what you like to do because they like to do that.
Yeah,
You're not going to have the same clients as someone else.
right. And also personalities, too. You know,
Exactly.
we could both have the exact same information. We're going to attract different clients.
For sure.
That's just how it is. So,
I think that's like two of the coolest things I've learned from your school, your class, is like hearing things from you. It's like everything we feel, you've already felt or gone through. So hearing that from you, it's like, oh, not alone.
Yeah.
Like imposter syndrome is huge.
it is. I still have it.
Right. But
So-
hearing your experiences or like everything you've gone through, it's like cool. Like he gets it. He's been in our seats before.
Yeah.
And then I think the other cool thing was the shadowing the trainers.
Mhm.
I've learned so much, and I still am like shadowing different trainers or like hitting them up, and I'm like, yo, can I come train with you or whatever? And I've learned something new each time,
Mm-hmm.
different from them, different from class. And it's like,
Yeah.
I can just take all this information and take what I want from it.
Yeah. Everybody's different.
Everyone's different.
My delivery, my personality is different than, say, like Greg.
Yeah.
Love Greg.
Mhm.
He's just a really amazing coach and amazing person. He's funny. He's
Yeah.
funny. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to work with him,
Right.
you know, unless you want that drill sergeant type, which he's not.
For sure.
But there's drill sergeant coaches out there that attract people. They're like, I need somebody that's going to yell at me.
Yeah. Not me.
That's not me either. I'm not
No.
going to yell at you.
No.
I'm just going to shame you.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you eat that?
Guilt trip you.
Yeah.
Use your money tactic for the kettlebell swing.
Don't drop that money. It's mine if you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, that's cool. Like just the constant learning.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause there's so many different ways to do things. You just can't get stuck in that.
Yeah. It's not just one path. It's
No.
not just one road. There's these little roads that just appear. Do you want to go down that one? They're all going to take you back to the main.
For sure.
Well, not always. If you're a coach and you decide you want to get into like body working, that's a completely different path altogether.
Right.
And now if you're going to do body work, you're not necessarily going to be a personal trainer. Now you're going to be doing like FST or neurokinetic therapy or anything of that nature. So, you know, you never know until you're exposed to it. That's why, you know, we try to expose our students to different modalities like
Yeah.
neurokinetic therapy, going over to OPT Fitness to see Joey and see what Joey does for his clients.
Yeah.
I think that's incredibly eye-opening, and without, you know, us exposing you guys to that and making you go to the field trip,
No, for
you
sure.
never would have known.
Even PNF. I never in a million years knew what PNF was.
Yeah.
Thought I would do anything with stretching people. I was like, I just want to be in the gym.
Right.
I just want to train people.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I love stretching people now. Like
Yep.
an hour session flies by. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And they love it.
and they love it.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial for them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So many paths. So many paths. I think the average person thinks a personal trainer is just in a, like, say, a commercial box gym without naming names. But they think that's what a personal trainer does, and that's it.
Right.
You know, because most people that do work out, that's the only place they go. They go to a commercial box gym, and they're like, this is where trainers go.
yeah.
That's one place they can go. You've got in-home personal training, which I think is a very underserved demographic.
Yep.
Lots of people out there need help. They're just afraid to take a step into the gym, and you go to them. Hey, now maybe eventually they'll have that confidence to go into a gym.
Sure.
You know, there's
They'll outgrow the home.
yeah, but you got to start somewhere. People are just afraid to take, you know, like in business, that first step.
For sure.
So help them take that step.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding. Put some miles on your car, it's fine. You know, just charge accordingly so that you can maintain your car, your vehicle. Just get a small bag of resistance bands, maybe some light dumbbells,
Yeah.
maybe a couple of these bad boys, you know, lug those around.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite tool.
Awesome.
They are.
Kettlebell hell?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
put my mom through that once a week. She loves it.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Loves it.
Yeah, there's so many names you can put together on these kettlebell complexes.
Oh, yeah. They're so fun. Once you learn to use them, do anything with them.
I get giddy when I make like a kettlebell complex. It's really hard for a client. I'm like, oh, they're gonna hate this. They're gonna like it too. But I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna love watching you suffer
Right.
and hearing you cuss at me. But at the end, they're gonna love it.
They're gonna
because
love
it'll
it.
Feel great.
Yeah.
No.
Like after the first time my mom did it, she was like, I was so sore the next day. She's like, and it was fun. Like it went by fast, like just continuous.
Yeah.
Knock it out in 30 minutes.
Yeah, doesn't take long.
No.
Best tool in the gym, right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
I love them.
That's my opinion. I don't care what you think. If it's not yours, you're wrong.
Come fight them.
Fight me.
Fight 'em.
No, when I went to the school, I thought those were dumb. I'm like, what do you do with kettlebells? And now that I've been working with them for 15 years, if I only had one tool that I could use, it would be a kettlebell all day long.
That was my thought. Walking into your class, you're like, you're going to be kettlebell certified. And I'm like, with those, anyone could be kettlebell certified. But no, they're awesome. Yeah. I look for them every gym I step foot. I'm like, where's kettlebells?
Yep, where they at?
Found them.
That's where I'm going.
I need more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sweet.
So yeah, I'm really excited about your career. I'm excited to see where things go for you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Don't stop learning. It sounds like you're not.
No, I love it.
Yeah. I love to hear that this is what you want to do, and if this is what you want to do, you can make it happen. You can succeed in this industry if you just have that drive. Again, and help. You have us as an ear whenever you need it.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got workshops and field trips that we go on that you're always welcome to join.
Yeah.
We try to change it up here and there.
Okay.
OPT Fitness will always be every term that we're going to go to. That's just, I think, incredibly impactful, and it's something that people need to be exposed to that might, think about breathing as being dumb and just something we automatically do. Until you actually experience, breath work, you don't know the power of it.
Yeah, go in the cold plunge without breath work. I dare you. See how long you last.
Not long.
Not long.
I think that's why he starts the class off like that. All right, let's learn how to breathe. Now let's do some power breathing. And
yeah, because that has improved my cold plunge immensely.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting in there now, like first it's cold, but then it's like you just breathe, your mind wanders, and you're like, a minute, 2 minutes, goes by quick.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Not for me.
You got to do it regularly.
Yeah, I did.
It gets easier.
I did it that one time.
Yeah, once. That's not regularly.
That's not regularly. No, it's not. But yeah, I think it's cool. I like exposing people to other things, and that's what my experience was when I went through the school. We had a guy that was, his whole business was Eastern medicine. Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff that I saw there, I was like, okay, I'm more of a believer now.
Yeah.
Neurokinetic therapy. I didn't know what it was. I wasn't skeptical, but I'm like, let's see.
Right.
Let's give this a shot. And then afterwards, I'm like, I'm so glad I was exposed to this. This is a great tool
for sure
as a coach to have to help my clients.
Yeah.
And then just learning how to do simple things like breath work. You can help them with their stress relief. You can help them in many, many ways with breath work. And if you're like me, what's breath work? I'm doing it right now. Yeah. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Not until you actually do it. You're going to feel different. It's like you can have a out of body experience through breath work.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people do when we go to OPT. It's typically every time we go there, somebody has a break. And it's awesome and powerful to see because that's something they needed.
For sure.
They just didn't know how to help them process.
Unlock it.
And that's what it does. And then you go into contrast therapy, go into that dry sauna for 20 minutes at 120 degrees.
Yeah.
No, 190.
90, yeah.
Yeah, 190, 200. Yeah, I get 220. That's how hot it gets here. We're outside. And then from there going into that 32-degree cold plunge.
Cold plunge.
Yeah, it's no joke. You feel completely different when we're done with that. Yeah. So to the point where we usually don't go back to class after.
I was going to say, I took one of the best naps of my life after that. I went home and
everybody's just like, I feel light, and I just want to lay down.
Yeah.
And try to figure out what just happened.
For sure.
So
yeah,
that's what we did last time.
Yeah.
Remember? We went to breakfast afterwards.
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm not going to make breakfast. Yeah. I need to go home and sleep.
Like, all right, it's a half a day, I guess. So.
Yeah, but that was cool. Even like pushing yourself, like with the yoga or with is it Jason with the speed, agility, and quickness?
Yeah, Jason from 365 Gym.
Yep.
Yeah, he comes down and teaches that. Yeah,
it's like things you wouldn't go out and do. It's like I'm not into speed, agility, and quickness, but it's like in class you get a little taste. You're like, could be for me.
Could be.
You know?
And even if it isn't, it's something you incorporate for your clients because everybody needs
a little bit of that.
Everybody needs a little bit of SAQ and plyometrics in their life. For
sure.
We, as athletes, and we're all athletes, we move in many different ways, and we need to be good in all ways that we move.
100%.
Planes of motion, all directions, and all that sort of thing. Because, well, that's how we're built. We're built to do these things. So, I mean, as kids, we did plyometrics and speed, agility, and quickness all the time.
Right.
But as adults, a lot of us go in the gym, we lift heavy weights and take 5-minute breaks in between sets and go home.
And go.
Don't even break a sweat. So, yeah, no, it's awesome to be able to help you guys the way that I was helped, and I'm just trying to pass that on as a school.
Getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, so
Huge.
yeah, I love it when people succeed.
Yeah,
because it's, to me, this is the most rewarding career you can be in. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a lot of careers, not all of them, but I've never no, not all of them. I was never a heart surgeon. I wanted to be. But
next time.
In the corporate world, you can have a great job, but just for some people, you know, being rewarded or feeling good about helping other people, I think is just insanely awesome.
Yeah.
So
that gets you back to where it doesn't feel like a job.
Yep. Exactly.
You feel so good. You're like, I want them to feel this good.
Yeah. Yep. Well, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming on. It's good seeing you again.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
My Instagram is Grace Schreyer. Grace Schreyer. Grace_Schreyer 10. There we go. We'll have it linked.
Yes, we'll link that.
That landing page, NPTI.
Yep.
Link that.
Yeah, we'll link that in the bio of the podcast. So if anybody's interested in talking to Grace about potentially becoming a client and get some help.
Stretching or training.
If you haven't been professionally stretched, you should try it.
First 30-minute sessions are free, so come check me out.
Yeah, free's good.
Free's good.
You don't know how it feels. It's free 30 minutes.
You'll feel amazing. You'll want an hour next time.
Yep.
Yeah.
If not more.
If not more, for sure.
Awesome. Well, it's great having you on the show.
Thank you. Great seeing you.
Much luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you again.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Awesome, Grace.
Awesome.
Later. Peace out.
That was fun.